Yamas. Cheers guys, Kes here. Welcome to my outdoor kitchen. Today I'll be making Aegean Sea specials. Seafood, amazing seafood. So we have octopus here, which I'm going to show you how to clean it. I have sardines in the kitchen. We'll bring them out as soon as everything is ready. I have some delicious organic vegetables here, which we're going to be making a few more dishes. First of all, we're going to be making grilled octopus, sardines, and a Turkish-style meze, which is basically aubergines, zucchini, peppers, fried, served with tomato stew. And then to top it up, we're going to have some delicious yogurt. So let's begin, shall we? Okay guys, so let's do the octopus first. Now here we have our beautiful octopus, fresh from, actually it's not fresh, I lied. It's frozen from Greece, but it is flash frozen on the boat, so it is just as good as fresh. As you can see, its whole thing is in one piece. It does require some preparation. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it all, octopus, put it here, and right over here has two eyes. So once you place it on your cutting board, made a little incision right under the eyes, right about here. And then one also right above the eyes. So we're going to be using this. This is the head. This is actually cleaned by the fisherman. If you were to get fresh octopus, you would have to clean the insides of the head, but this one's actually clean, so I don't need to worry about that. The other thing we need to do is, once you get your octopus, you turn it inside out. Here you have a little beak or mouth, which we need to get rid of it. It's actually kind of like a cartilage. And the easiest way to do it is basically put your finger right through it and push it out. Right here. There we have it. And the second thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting all these tentacles, separate them before we put it into the stove, into a pot where we tenderize it. So to cut it, the best thing to do is you just follow the anatomy of the octopus and just slice it. There's our first one. Second. Third. I know some people feel octopus is something very difficult to cook or deal with, but actually it's really not. In fact, in Greece and Turkey, Italy, Portugal, Spain, it's something very common to find in a lot of the tavernas, a lot of the restaurants you go to. And it's something that locals love to eat with their drinks, both for lunch and dinner, along with other seafood that we are blessed to have in the Aegean and the Mediterranean Sea, of course. So now, everything is ready here on the plate. What I want to do is I want to tenderize them a bit in this pot over here. So I'm cooking outdoors today, so I have a little outdoor stove here. I'm going to be turning it on. Mind you, it's kind of a windy day too, but here we go. And what else you need is you never add water. You don't want it to get the water. Octopus itself actually has a lot of water. So what you want is a bit of wine vinegar. So I'm just going to put it on the pot, just a bit. I'm going to be putting my octopus pieces in there. You could use a bigger pot, obviously. Mine is kind of small for this job, but hey, sometimes you gotta do what you have to do with what you have. Once I have those in, and this one you can either keep it as a whole or you can slice it. Maybe in this case kind of makes more sense to cut into little rings, kind of like a calamari. This is not the main cooking, by the way. Actually, what we're going to be doing is later on, we're going to be grilling them right here on this with a different pan, adding a little bit more vinegar. So this should take about, I would say, probably about 30 minutes or so until your octopus is nice and tender. It's going to change the color. As you know, right now it kind of looks like this, where it's kind of whitish, grayish. It's going to be turning more red in color, and that is totally normal. That's kind of when you know it's about done. Okay, so our next dish for today is going to be aubergines, zucchini, and peppers fried with tomato stew, which cooked with garlic, a bit of sugar, and then we're going to be layering it. The third layer is going to be the yogurt with a bit of garlic sauce. So to do this, basically you wash your vegetables, and I have all these vegetables all cleaned and nicely by my son and his best friend. So basically in Turkey and Greece, what we like to do is we like to take some of the skin off. So you just need a good old peeler. Your aubergines are old, then I suggest that you kind of put a bit of salt on top and let the salt absorb some of the bitterness. But in this case, these are quite fresh. I'm okay with using them as they are. So once you peel your eggplants, you can take out the stalk, which is the last bit, and then we're gonna cut them into sort of bite-sized pieces. The smaller you cut them, obviously the frying is going to be easier, but I don't want to make them too small either. So I'm going to cut this into probably about 3 pieces first. So once you have 3 large pieces like this, you can cut them into smaller pieces, which in this case I'm going to be slicing. As I said earlier, the smaller pieces you have, it's going to be easier to fry them. And when I say fry, I'm not going to be doing basically deep frying or anything like that. I'm going to be using my pan. And one of the key thing is you want to make sure your pan is really, really hot once you put the oil in there. In this case, I'm going to be using olive oil. That's what I have. It's an extra virgin olive oil. You could use pure olive oil, which is slightly less expensive, and you can use it in basically in cooking like this, and then later on you can use the high quality olive oil to drizzle on top to add flavor. That's pretty much a trick that I've learned from my mom. She always used the most expensive olive oil for drizzling, adding flavor. So now let's go on with our zucchini. The same thing as we did with the eggplants. We're going to be doing a little peeling, kind of like a zebra on the outside. And then next we're going to be cutting the stalk, which again is not the best part. In this case, I'll probably do it about the same size as the aubergine. So probably about that big, which means into probably 3 pieces. Great. And again, the same thing. And cut them into pieces like that one. There you go. Just add everything to a plate where you're going to be taking them bit by bit and putting into your hot olive oil on the pan. This is the last piece. I actually have guests today at home, so I'm going to be doing a lot more. I'm just showing you bits and pieces of how everything is done. But there's actually, I'll be doing a lot more vegetables. So the last one is actually these beautiful, beautiful baby red peppers. In this case, it's a bit like the capsicum or the bell peppers. There's a bit of seeds in there, but in the baby ones, obviously they're a lot smaller, so I don't have to worry about it. I'm just going to take the the stalk out. As you can see, this one actually has hardly any seeds in there, really. So the best thing to do is just slice them into half and then maybe cut in half. There you go. So here we have a sample batch of what we're going to be frying right here in this pan with a bit of olive oil. Cut. Okay guys, now our vegetables are ready. Let's start frying them. Start the oven on. I'm using one of these pans, shallow pan, for my frying. I got some good old olive oil. Just be generous. And as I said earlier, you just gotta make sure you have enough heat in your pan for your frying. If the oil is not hot enough, then basically all the vegetables you put inside, it's gonna be absorbing the olive oil. You have no olive oil left in the pan and things are gonna be burning. So the best thing to do is just be patient, wait until your oil is really, really hot, and then you're good to go. Start putting your vegetables in. I have cut a few more since last time you watched. Basically, I still have the aubergines, zucchini, and those baby peppers that I showed you earlier on. So now our pan is getting hot. Okay guys, one of our first dishes is already ready, which is the fried aubergines, zucchini and peppers. Here we have it. As I shown you earlier on, it's all ready to go. So what I want to do right now is get a nice plate. One of the sauces that goes on top is actually yogurt, and here I have one of these, I guess 100% natural Greek style set yogurt with 2% fat. So I'm gonna take a bit of that, put into a bowl so I can mix it. You can actually add water into it if you find it a bit too hard to work with it, but I think for this recipe it should be fine as it is. So I'm gonna put one of these garlics into the garlic crusher. So once you have your garlic in the yogurt, you just wanna mix it up a bit. As you're mixing it, you'll see that it becomes a bit more creamy consistency. Okay, our yogurt is ready. Let's do our plating. So let's take our vegetable. Let's go on with the next step, which is our tomato sauce. And it's okay if you make a bit of a mess like I do, because you can always clean it up later. That's what chefs do. Nothing goes in the kitchen that is perfect. We always do the imperfect and yet make it look perfect, as they call it. And now the next thing what we're gonna do is, and this adds a bit of more freshness to the dish. Also, color-wise, it really plays beautifully. I have the yogurt, so I'm gonna scoop out the yogurt right in the middle. There we have it. And this is a dish that you can eat either hot or cold. Personally, I prefer it cold. In fact, if you go to a lot of the restaurants in the Aegean Sea, you'll find that as you enter into the restaurant, you have to go through this fridge where you see your fish, octopus, prawns, shrimp, all that seafood, as well as the meze, or mezedes, as they say in Greece. This is where you select your food that you want to have, and the waiter will later on bring it to your table. Exactly like I do over here. So there we have it. So this dish is ready. I'm gonna pop this into the fridge and serve it later on with our octopus, sardines, and Greek salad. Give you one last shot before I take it away. There you go. Okay guys, now we're gonna be doing the Greek salad. May not be the traditional. By all means, I'm no traditional guy. Huh? I don't do science. This is art. Sometimes your tomato drops on the floor. You gotta blow on it and you gotta wipe it off, you know what I mean? So, ouzo definitely helps, huh? When you cook. I like to cut my tomatoes, but one of the things that I like to do is peel the skin off. I find the skin is not always the best. I want that juicy, smooth flesh. Easiest way to do it is basically, move this out of the way, you cut on either ends and you just hold the knife on the top and just cut it around the edges without getting too much of the meat, the flesh inside. You're just cutting the skin off, almost like peeling it. In fact, this is how we peel fruits in a professional kitchen as well. Nobody really has time to, you know, do it like at home, the mom. So this is how we do it, okay? Okay, so once you get your tomato, you're gonna be cutting into, well, I like to cut my tomatoes and my vegetables into chunky pieces. So once you cut in half, you just slice it. So this medium-sized tomato is about, what, 8 pieces. So you chuck that into your bowl. Now let's do the cucumber. I have the baby cucumbers. You could actually have the large ones, which is fine. One thing you gotta do is, after you give it a nice wash, you just peel them. You don't have to peel the whole thing, just like the eggplant and the aubergine. I'm kind of doing like a little zebra thingy here. But you do want to have the ends chopped off, okay? So once you do that, you basically compare your sizes when it comes to your vegetables. You want them to be uniform. And in this case, this is the size that I'm looking at. So, there we have it. I'm gonna do the rest as well. The other ingredient actually goes in is gonna be our olives, feta cheese. I have 2 types here. One is actually organic cow feta from Greece, and the other one is goat's milk feta. Now the goat's milk feta has a little bit more stronger taste, which I love, by the way. But if you're not into goat's cheese, then I probably stick with the cow milk, which is fine. Kalamata, which is a traditional Greek black or Bordeaux olives, like you see here. For topping, I'm gonna have a bit of white pepper, oregano, and of course salt. And for the dressing part, we're gonna have some beautiful, beautiful organic extra virgin olive oil, and I'm gonna squeeze some lemon juice in there. If you don't have lemon, of course you could use a bit of white wine vinegar as well, but I do like the acidity and the flavor, the scent of the lemons, especially these beautiful lemons, fresh organic lemons, when it comes to making my salads. So I'll show you the finished product. Okay guys, now we have our sardines, we have our octopus, all ready to go. So for the octopus, I'm just gonna simply dress it and grill it over here in this pan. and I'm gonna be frying my sardines over here. For the sardines, I have a bit of a flour. It just adds a little bit more exterior, you know, the crispy edge if you have a bit of regular white flour. So let's do this. Let's take our sardines, put some good old olive oil into our pan. In this case, both of them. There we go. Okay, now let's take our sardines and kind of put them into the flour. Just a little bit of flour on them, that's all you need. I'm gonna be adding the salt. Well, you could add the salt right now, or you could add it while it's cooking, like you season your food. It's totally up to you. I don't have a very big pan here as I'm cooking outdoors, so my resources are kind of limited, but that's the beauty of cooking. You have to adapt your environment. In this case, it's outdoors, but the taste always going to be amazing. My heat is really going hot. I can see the steam coming out of my pans. My pans. You don't want to see steam coming out of my pans. Definitely. Okay, my pan is ready. Maybe not. Okay. Okay, if I were to hear a little sizzle, that means that it's actually ready. I'll tell you what, looks like this stove is kind of running out of gas. Why don't I turn this guy off and do everything on this one right over here in the center stage. So, as I'm putting my sardines, like sardines, in the pan, it's only going to be just a few minutes on either side, not very long. I can already smell it. Takes me back home. Those summers in Turkey, Greece. Millions of people from other parts of Europe go to southern Europe, like Turkey, Greece, Spain, Italy, Portugal, just to experience this way of living. And here we have, where are we? In Vancouver, Canada. You can create this. You can create that experience, and what better tool you have than the actual food. The taste, the smell, the scent, the aroma, everything takes you back. So while those guys are cooking, I'm going to talk to you about how I'm going to dress them. Basically, we're looking for the crispy on the exterior, yet nice and soft and juicy in the middle. To season them, I'm going to be using oregano, paprika, white pepper, and a bit of salt, lemon juice, olive oil, and I have some fresh dill that I picked up from the market. I'm going to be using that. So for this job, you better have some tongs with you because you want to flip them at some point, which is probably about now. But before doing that, I want to add some salt, some pepper. You can't go wrong with this one. A bit of paprika. Again, this is totally optional. It's not the traditional way of it, but I do love the smoky aroma and the flavor of paprika. It's just something out of this world. When the oregano hits the pan, the smell is just unreal. At this time, you probably want to add a bit of more olive oil. You don't want to keep them dry. And cut some olive, some lemon juice. Okay, they're probably ready to be flipped. Like I said, it only takes just a few minutes. These are small sardines, by the way. They're not the big types. Gotta be gentle with them. I purchased mine frozen. You could actually, you might be able to find fresh ones wherever you are. But here in Vancouver, at my local store where I shop, where they sell a lot of Greek ingredients, I'm able to find the ones that coming from Greece actually, so which is great. I want to add a bit of spice to it, so I have some dried chilies. I don't have the fresh ones, unfortunately, so I want to slice these guys up a little bit. Kind of like sprinkle on top. Just add more flavor. Seeds are okay. I mean, I'm not adding too much to make it spicy, but if you have kids, maybe you don't have to put the chili in there. Okay, they're looking really, really good. I have some more sardines left, which I'm gonna do it afterwards. As soon as I take them off the heat, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing, same style of cooking with my octopus. Now, I am using one of these portable outdoor cooking stove thingies with the butane gas. If you have a barbecue, you could do the exact same thing with the barbecue as well. In fact, if you have charcoal, oh my God, with the charcoal, it will be unbelievable. It will be amazing. The smokiness, the odor from the charcoal getting into the fish or any meat that you're cooking is just gonna be amazing. Let's see how they're doing. Wow, they look really, really good. It doesn't take very long to cook these guys, and like cooking any fish, you really don't want to overcook them. The heat is not very even. It's quite a windy day here in Vancouver, so one side is a little bit more hot than the other. I'm getting a little bit more coloration on the left side, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. They actually look really good. I believe they're done. You can always do the feel test. Yep, nicely done. So I'm going to turn off my heat and transfer these guys into my serving plate. Okay, now it's the octopus. So same pan, let's turn on our stove, high heat, and what you want to do is you want to add some olive oil, just like the sardines we did. Oh, by the way, we did some sampling and they were amazing. So everybody's really waiting for dinner. It is now about 20 past 6. So, well, nobody said this is gonna be easy. It's actually my first time recording this kind of thing. I've done a lot of outdoor cooking, a lot of live cooking for my students, but never really done any YouTube material. So anyway, there's always a first, right? So our pan is getting really nice and hot. Gonna put some garlic in there. Beautiful. As soon as the garlic hits the pan, you can smell it. Yes. Now, let's take our octopus pieces and place them on the pan. Once again, these actually are cooked as we did them earlier on. While we were tenderizing them, we were actually cooking them a bit as well. The reason why I'm doing this is add a bit more flavor and also create that crispy texture on the outside. That's really all there is. Otherwise, they're perfectly edible as they were cooking in the vinegar. You can hear the sizzling. So I'm gonna add my good old salt in there. By the way, this is a Sicilian salt, sea salt with some chili pepper. I love chili with my seafood, actually most of my food. There we go. Generous amount. Gonna add some white pepper. Challenge of cooking in a windy day kind of goes everywhere. Again, I'm going to be using my paprika, adding a bit more depth into it. by giving that smoky flavor. Beautiful. And good old oregano. I'm using the dried ones. You could actually use the fresh ones if you have. I do grow them on my balcony at the flat, but forgot to bring them. What do you know? Add a bit more olive oil. Okay, looks like this one is out. Get the backup olive oil. There we go. Cut some lemon in half. Seafood and lemon juice just goes amazing. Olive oil. So what you want to do is you want to close your hands, your fingers, and squeeze the lemon so you can catch any of the seeds that might be going. But be careful because you could get a bit of a flame at the same time. But it's incredible how much depth, how much flavor you add into seafood if you were to add lemon juice. And you can never have too much, trust me. There you go, those are the seeds. Maybe we can grow some in the garden. There you go. Next year, we might have a lemon plant. Okay, next thing I want to do is, again, this is totally optional. You can turn them around. They're getting nice and crispy. These look beautiful. Let them cook off a little bit more. Give them the crispy texture that they want. I also have some dill over here, which goes amazing with the seafood. And one last ingredient, what I want to do is, again, this is totally optional. Just because I have it, I have the Santali Uzo. I'm not getting paid by Santali. I wouldn't mind, to be honest. Send me a few cases, would you? Be careful. I'm gonna do a bit of flambe here. You want to burn that alcohol in there, and yet leave the smell, the aroma that you get from Ouzo. Ouzo, by the way, is a Greek aperitif. It is quite popular in the Middle East as well. This one is about 38%. You can find 38 to 45%. The main thing is really grapes, anise. There are a variety of ways of doing it. This is one of my favorites. Looking good. One more minute and we're done. There's still a bit of alcohol burning in there, which is beautiful. Adding all that flavor, the depth. I have my large serving platter ready to go. I'm going to be transferring my octopus in there as well and dress it with a bit more dill and wedges of lemon so that my guests, when they're enjoying the meal, they can grab a slice of lemon and squeeze it on the food they're about to enjoy. It just adds a little bit more depth and flavor. There you go. The flame is almost gone. Lots bits. Can you guys smell it?
Yeah.
Yes. It's amazing. Okay, our flame is out, which means that all the alcohol is burned. Turn off the heat. Beautiful. So I'm going to transfer everything. You could actually take them as they are, or you could slice them on the cutting board before you plate them. In this case, maybe I'll do both, just to give it a bit of a variety. So you can pick up your octopus. Okay, that's a big piece. I'm gonna serve the big piece, a couple of big pieces as a sliced, so everyone can get a nice piece to enjoy with. Okay, let's cut these 3 pieces in there. And cutting is actually quite simple. You just want to hold it into little chunks. Beautiful. and just generously transfer them into your platter. That initial process that we did, which is cooking in vinegar, really made everything tender. Again, I used the frozen octopus, but if you were to buy fresh octopus, if you can get your hands onto, then you have to do even more cooking, more tenderizing. Frozen octopus actually has a tendency to be a bit more tender, as I can tell from just cutting it. There we go. Last pieces. Now, let's cut some lemon wedges. Beautiful. You can already smell the lemon. And don't forget our dill. You can use it as a decoration, or you can chop it up like a chiffonade. And in this case, I'm just gonna grab pieces here and there, just to chuck it in the middle. And get your lemon wedges. There you go. You have a beautiful seafood platter that's made up of sardines. I guess we grilled them, and tenderized and grilled octopus. Enjoy. I'm going to show you the finished products once we clear up this area and set the table. So see you in a minute. All right guys, here we have our beautiful dinner is finally ready. So sorry ladies, it took so long, but this is filming. This is serious stuff, okay? It's the first time I'm doing it. Come on, give me a break. So here we have the Turkish style meze, which is aubergine, zucchini, peppers, fries with stewed tomato and garlic sauce, topped with beautiful Greek yogurt. Here we have the beautiful sardines, again from Greece, octopus, which we tenderized and then grilled as well. And finally, we have some Greek salad. And this is actually a special bread. I believe it's Iranian style bread, but I think it kind of goes well with this dish. So we're gonna be enjoying dinner. Bon appétit!